Hi, so this is my part 2 for my FAQ video. The same thing holds true to this video that was true for the first. There is a trigger warning and an adult content warning for this video. So if you feel as though you may not be able to watch this video, please exit the video now or keep watching for more information. So, the first question that I get asked quite often is, so what is pansexual? Or are you pansexual? Well, this is based on my own opinion of what pansexuality is. This isn't really a true definition, considering that Google gives you, if you look it up, Google or lots of dictionaries will give you a ton of different definitions for it. So this is just how I view my own personal sexual orientation with this particular label. I don't really like labels because I don't really fit in with just pansexual. So I guess the best thing that I can put myself into is pansexual, so I do label myself as that. Pansexual, for those who don't know, is a attraction to male, female, and transgendered people, as well as non-binary people. You don't really have an attraction to necessarily a person for what they look like or what they can offer you, just the person themselves, emotionally, in general, just for who you are. It is not the same thing as bisexual, because bisexual does not include transgendered people or non-binary people. If you look it up on Google, you'll understand. Don't try to argue with me, because I have looked this up just before this video, so please don't argue with me. Bisexuality does not include that, so yeah. So that's just my definition of what it means to be pansexual. This next question might be a little lengthy because I do have to explain it a little bit more than just short answered. Why do you choose to be open about your transition or being transgendered? Well, the reason why I have chose to be open about my transition and who I am, and the whole process in its own, is because being stealth never was an option to me. Mostly because I cannot deny my past and what I've been through and what my body allows me to do. Currently, I don't have top surgery done. I am not post-op. And I don't have my lower surgery completed, or I don't have it done either. So I cannot do certain things that males or females can do. I don't fit in with a male or female category, and basically my body puts me in the in-between stage of both male and female. So I am neither, and I can just simply tell you that being open about it has relieved a lot of stress, due to the fact that if I were stealth and in the eyes of society I was only just stealth, that would put me at risk for being who I am in general. I can only do certain things, and it puts a lot of pressure on me emotionally to have to obtain or keep up a appearance as being who I'm not. So being open and honest about what I'm going through and who I am has led me to a lot of good friendships, and I don't worry. I don't feel the need to stress myself out about whether or not somebody is looking at me funny because they know who I am and what I've been through, or when I run into past relationships, exes, and also friends even from long ago when I went to another school before I transitioned and anyone knew me. it doesn't, I mean, it's not awkward because they know. It's not awkward because I don't have to explain to my friends who think I'm stealth, like in a whole nother, in a hypothetical situation, if I were stealth, I wouldn't have to explain it to my friends who think I'm just a normal, everyday, casual person, a male, you know. I don't have to explain it to them. It just takes the stress off my shoulders and the burden off of it. Not only that, but I cannot deny who I am, and I love being trans. I wouldn't want to be just a cisgendered male because who I am today was created. It's me, and if I were just born this way, yes, it would be easier, and I wouldn't have to deal with all this crap. Uh, but I also wouldn't be who I am, and I just wouldn't be me. So this transition has made me, and just quite simply, it's just who I am. So that's why I'm open. So now this is a question that I get a lot more than what people would expect. The question is, what were your steps to start your transition? Well, to start my transition, I initially just started looking and researching online. Um, Anything and everything that I could find. I looked up everything. Uh, Anywhere from physical stuff to testosterone to the hormones to where I should start to trying to find people to talk to about it and what they did to start their transition. I hit lots of dead ends, lots and lots of just brick walls. I just kept hitting brick walls over and over and over. But I took the time for about 2 years to research what I really wanted to do and who I was before I came out. When I came out to my family members first, and then my friends and my teachers at school, and asked them to call me by my name, Aiden. And then the next step that I took after that was to change my wardrobe, what I wore clothes-wise every day. And then I changed my hair because I had a little emo cut, I don't know, went through a punk stage, and I cut all my hair off, had it styled short like this, and just became who I really felt like I should be at that point. And I was probably in that stage of just, I hit a plateau, and I stayed at that stage for quite a while. People respected me quite a bit. I lost friends, I gained friends. And then eventually I found a gender therapist to start talking to. I went to 5 sessions with her for $40 every session. And then when I was done, after those sessions, after I talked to her and she evaluated my readiness, the readiness to take the next step, which was to start hormones, which is hormone replacement therapy. She gave me what they call a T letter. It's actually just a letter that allows you to legally take hormones, to go to a doctor and to get prescribed hormones for your transition, because you have to be diagnosed with GID, or gender identity disorder, or dysphoria, which is called dysphoria now. They just changed that in the W path rules, regulations, whatever that is. If you don't know what those are, you can look them up. It's WAPATH, I think, or WPATH. I'm not really sure. I haven't looked it up in like 2 or 3 years, but there's a regulated way that they have to go about giving you hormones, and allowing you to take hormones. I can post the link below. I'll just post it below so you guys can look at these different links. But yeah, that's how I went about it, and then, for the gender therapy. And then she gave me my letter, and it was a couple months until I started testosterone. I finally found a doctor closest to me that I could afford to go to. Made an appointment, I went to the appointment. He did a physical, checked me over physically to make sure I was healthy enough to start testosterone. Um, Asked me for my letter of recommendation. I gave it to him. He looked it over, said, okay, well, here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to make you an appointment for a week, and I'll see you then, and we'll give you your first shot. So, well, and of course I had to do blood work prior to that too. So when he let me go that day, I went and did blood work, and that's why it took another week before I could actually start. And then I started testosterone, and that's where I am at currently. So that's my steps that I took, in short. This next question goes along with the last question. This next question is, what are some things that you can tell me about T? What are some false and true aspects of testosterone? Well, there's a lot of unscientific, or there's a lot of misconceptions with testosterone. There's a lot of things that haven't been studied with the effects of testosterone. There hasn't been many studies because we just haven't had the amount of transgendered people out and about in the world to study. And it's a fairly new technique. Using testosterone is a fairly new technique in the medicine world, or the medical field in general. It's only probably been around for the last 15 years, which is relatively new in medical terms. So there's a lot of misconceptions and stuff about it, though, that are floating around out there. A lot of times people ask me if it can cause cancer. Well, to be honest, testosterone doesn't really cause cancer. It just increases your risk of cancer. Just like anything else. Smoking cigarettes causes the risk of getting cancer to increase, just as the same with testosterone. So if you are likely to have or possibly have cancer, such as, your mom or your dad has cancer, then you are more likely to be at risk for cancer while taking testosterone. It does not cause it. I am just fine. My grandpa just died in February of this year from cancer, and I'm fine. I have nothing. My body is clean. So I've been on testosterone for a year and 6.5 months, and I haven't found any cancer cells, and I'm fine. So it doesn't cause cancer. Another misconception is that it will make you like a Hulk machine. No, you won't turn muscly and attractive. Sorry, testosterone doesn't do that for you. If you want to be attractive, then take some other steps to do so. Change your hair, go tanning, change your clothes, other things you can change, because testosterone is not going to make you attractive. If anything, you're going to get fat because it'll change the way that you eat. You're going to eat a lot more, and if you don't exercise, you'll get fat, basically. You'll gain fat. So exercise, eat healthy, stop smoking, drink plenty of water. You'll be healthy and you'll be fine. Another thing that testosterone misconceptions is that people believe that if they take testosterone, that they'll grow facial hair and their voice will get really deep, and these are just changes that vary depending upon person to person. Your voice will not just suddenly become, Josh Turner, country music star, bass. You're not going to become the world's deepest voice. You're not going to become Hulk. You're not going to become a werewolf. Not everyone has the same amount of changes at the same velocities. I know guys who have been on testosterone for about 8 years now, and their voices are no deeper than mine. And some people's voices don't very, very minimally change. So these changes are all just based on genetics and your own body. If you have a hairy dad, you're more than likely, if you have a hairy dad and a hairy brother, or you know, hairy siblings, you're bound and determined to probably be hairy. Because my dad's pretty fuzzy, belly fuzz, leg fuzz, face fuzz, just fuzz, and so I got that gene, luckily. But that doesn't make me more susceptible to having a giant mountain man beard. I probably will never grow a giant mountain man beard. And if I do, it's going to take time. It'll probably be 5 years, 6 years down the road. So that's really all I can tell you for testosterone changes and effects, falses, trues. I'm not a doctor, but I do have a very knowledgeable doctor that prescribed me testosterone, and there's just a lot of information that I've learned from him. So that's all I can tell you for testosterone wise, at least. This question I was asked probably about a couple weeks ago, and it's kind of strange. I'm not really sure why they asked me this, because it's just doesn't make any sense. I think I already had answered it previously to them, but basically the question asked, so if you are pansexual, do you hook up with guys or do you hook up with girls? Well, like I explained in my statement before, pansexual to me means that I'm attracted to whoever, whenever, wherever kind of thing, as long as we have a good emotional attachment, a good connection. You know, you're not far off from me, personality-wise. If you got good humor, or just in general who you are. If I like you, I like you. It doesn't matter if you're a boy and you have a penis, or if you're a boy and you have a vagina. It doesn't matter. I will hook up with whoever I hook up with, whether you have physical attributes to either sex, because gender and sex are not a thing to me. They don't matter. So, if I like you, I like you. That's as simple as I can put it. This last question is I'm gonna try and make this very quick because it's getting long. What are some things throughout your process that you can't stand? Well, there's quite a few things that bother me and irk me on a day-to-day basis about my transition, or people that I interact with who know about my transition or don't know. Like, right now I have my name that I was born with. That's my legal name still, in the legal aspect. So when I go to places that require my legal name and signature, it's very entertaining to see people do a double take, or this funny experience at the Croc Center, which is a gym workout place here in my town. I'll explain this story just to leave you guys off with this. So I went there last year in August to sign up for a year membership. Got in there, was waiting, signed some papers, talked to this lady, and at the end of the whole thing, she was looking over and looking at my bank account, say, like the number on my debit card to make sure it all matched and all that. And then she was like, "Oh, honey, you put down the wrong name. I wanted to make sure that you were signing up this account for yourself and not for your girlfriend or your mom or whoever." And I was like, "No, that's really my name." And she's like, "Oh, well, okay, well, I'll just have you do another application." I was like, "No, everything on that application is correct, ma'am." And then she looked at me and she's like, "But it says female." And I was like, "Yes, that's what my birth certificate says. That's what I have to put down." And she's like, "Oh, well, I feel very sorry for you. I know that must be really hard for you. I'm sorry that I was so naive to that." And I was like, "Well, it's not very common around here." And she's like, "No, I wouldn't suppose so." It was very awkward. She was very nice, don't get me wrong. She was very nice and very kind about it, but it was just a very awkward experience. I really didn't want to have to deal with that. And to be honest, I was very concerned because this place was built by part it's in part of the Salvation Army, and I've read some anti-LGBT homophobic articles about uh, the Salvation Army in the past online, and it just made me aware that some organizations should be a little more uh, aware of things, because it is 2014 and there are some random people out there like me that live life, and I think that a lot of times people don't know how